What's up, everybody? My name is Anthony. Welcome to our Operator series. This is my MilSim West walking around kit. Alright guys, so here's the deal. You guys know that I am MSW Cadre. So what that means is that I help MSW as an employee of their group to help players get through the event. I have a very specific kit that I built for this that's mainly built more so for an admin type role. It has a lot of individual survival type stuff in it, first aid supplies and things like that, so that way you guys can get a sense of what it takes for one of us to help take care of you to make sure you have a good event. So the big thing to start off with first is you have to realize this. All of the MilSim West events, if you are carrying anything that's not a support weapon, this is how much ammo you get per resupply. And there's not even any guarantee that you'll get more than the first one. So, when you're going to go build your kit, you're going to build that under the realization that you need to make sure that your gun is optimized for good, accurate fire, and that you're not carrying more stuff than you need. A lot of dudes carry plate carriers and stuff like that, weighs them down. Those are the majority of the dudes that end up quitting because they're too tired, hot, sweaty, whatever. My kit is very light, very breathable, and I've done a lot of snooping around to try to get stuff at a decent price because I'm poor. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the two different guns that I have. So this is my backup gun right here. This is a VFC Scar L. It's got an upgraded hop-up in it. I believe it's all CNC machined aluminum, but it's the Scar style hop-up. It's not a Pro-Win. And it's got a Polar Star jack in it with a Orga 623 in it. This gun is not as efficient as my SPR right here, but what this allows me to do is it's very accurate and it shoots pretty dang well. The only reason I don't carry it as my go-to gun is because since it has a lot of plastic components, I'm afraid I'm going to snap it doing stupid things, and I don't want to break it since it was given to me as a gift by Richie, and I don't want to destroy it. So, this is my backup gun. I usually keep this packed up in my main ruck, which you'll get to see in another video pretty soon, so keep that in mind. And then we have my primary right here. This is the weapon that I use the most whenever I go play. I'm going to go ahead and take it out so you guys can take a look at it. This originally was a Crytac SPR. Right now it has a retro arms, CNC aluminum hop-up in it, the Amped custom purple flat hop nub, a Promi purple bucking, as well as a PDI 375-605 barrel. This gun shoots incredible, and it is incredibly light. As you can see, there's almost nothing on this weapon that I do not need. We're going to go from the back to the front. I have a Refactor tactical tourniquet holder right here. It's about $30, held on by bungee cords. This thing is clutch. Anytime people come up to heal me, it's super easy. I can literally just go lay on my back and go, and then they don't have to root through all my kit to find my tourniquet. Makes bringing me back a lot faster. An LBX 2-point sling. These things are a steal. These things are a steal. If you guys are going to go on a long op like this where you have to do lots of rucking and moving around, ditch all your 1-point slings. Get a nice 2-point sling so that you can do it on a patrol carry like this. So you can go hands-free, be able to carry your rifle and walk around, and you don't have to worry about it bouncing off of you and doing weird like that. I have a Phoenix TK15 because I'm not going to put a real Surefire on here because it might get stolen or broken, and I don't want to lose a $200 flashlight. Pressure switch. I have a real AR-15 front sight. This is an LMT. And then on the back, I have the Crytac chop sight, just because, whatever. And then also on the front, I have a Mad Bull can with the Mad Bull 3-prong Knight's Armament flash hider as well. This gun's very quiet, shoots very, very well. I'm a big fan of it. This has been kind of my experimental gun. I've kind of beaten it up a lot, put a lot of stupid parts in it to try to see things work. But, you know, it is what it is. Also, I would like to take the time to mention that since this is a Polar Star, you do not need a big battery, but what I do use is this Crytac stock has tons of room. I have a JST to Maya connector, a JST to Dean's connector, and about 4 small Polar Star batteries in this stock, so I never have to worry about my battery dying and not being able to fire. Big deal to always be as self-sufficient as possible. Also, this gun is very high efficiency, so this allows me to get something like 3,000 shots out of my 62 tank, which is a big deal when I have to carry all of my stuff out in the field and I can't go back to the car or refill air. So we're going to put that down and get that out of the way. Alright guys, so here's the deal. Like I said, this is my walking around kit. This isn't my sustainment gear that I use to stay out in the field. That's going to be in a separate video because like I said, as Cadre I have to carry a whole bunch of extra stuff to make sure people are comfortable and not dying. So we'll go over that later so you guys get a sense of what like all the Cadre guys are carrying with them to see how they take care of the players. But this is my walking around kit. This is my go out and slap Rust 4 in the face kit. This is my go Pewsoft out in the rain for 40 hours in California kit. This is what I got. So we're gonna start at the top. So I have an Op0r8durr fast bump helmet. This is an actual Op0r8durr, not a replica. This is the sport model, and the reason I chose the sport model is solely because of this right here. The single chin strap is so clutch. It's so much more comfortable, and it actually wears more like a bike helmet than it does like a combat helmet. I hate having the chin cup constantly pulling on this and like having to have it so tight that it hurts my face. Like, no. Bicycle chin strap. Oh, it's clutch, trust me. On my helmet, I have the brain exploder mount with a GoPro Hero 5 or Hero 4 Black. Love this camera. I never remember to charge it or turn it on though, so I'm kind of terrible. But I have it. It looks cool. I have a Surefire HL1. This is red, white, and it has an IR illuminator blink so that people can find me whenever they're lost in the woods. I have over here the Princeton Tech headlamp. This is also a red light as well so that I can use these for night map reading and stuff like that, talking to people. You do not want white light in a scenario where there's a lot of people out in the woods hunting you. So red lights everywhere. On the back of my helmet, I have the US Sewing counterweight pouch. This is what I use to carry my spare battery case for my GoPro. Also charges my phone like 5 times. It's like super great pouch, super great to have a backup battery on you all the time so you can keep all your electronics charged. Big fan of that. If you guys don't have a backup battery, I suggest you get one for your phones and stuff. Especially if you're going on backcountry hiking and stuff like that. It's always nice to have like all of your stuff charged. So from there, we're just gonna roll on down. What I'm wearing is I'm wearing a Mayflower UW Type 4. This is the generation of chest rig before the Pusher. So the Pusher's the Type 5. The difference between that and the Pusher is that this one has a zipper in the center so I can quickly take it on and off without having to undo any of the straps. I really like that feature. It also has a safety catch right here in case the zipper gets broken so that you can still wear it without having to worry about the chest rig coming apart. I'm also wearing for my backpack, I'm wearing a MilSpec Monkey Tactical Tailor collaboration backpack called the Adapt Pack. A big fan of this pack as well as the MilSpec Monkey Tactical Tailor Boss Beaver. I use that as actually my primary ruck at Jump to Rust Off when I was out in California. Great packs, I highly suggest them. Also, the removable operator pack is the straight tactical tailor version of that. I suggest that as well. It's a great pack. It carries all of the stuff that I need. Extra lenses for my glasses, extra glasses, food, water, all of that stuff. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to save everything that's in the chest rig when we blow it up on the table because there's a lot of really important stuff in here. But what we're basically going to do is we're just going to gloss over all of the outward stuff. On the back of my backpack, what I have is I have a frag pouch so that I can carry a pea grenade. Someone can give it to me. I usually also am carrying a MilSim West Claymore bag and multicam. That's what I use to help carry around all my pyro and stuff like that. Super great. I can slide it off to the side to stow it, and I can get to it very easily. It's big open flap, so I can manipulate it with gloves, which are nice, and I can go in and grab things that I need. Throw explosives, blow people up, because YOLO. I also have a Tactical Tailor universal magazine pouch on the other side of that I've used to put an extra Nalgene water bottle. I do not like carrying water bladders. I've broken way too many bladders both in the military and in BB Wars for me to like wholeheartedly get behind them. There's a couple brands like the Osprey bladders that I like, but I ruin too many of them. I prefer Nalgene bottles because they're strong. I can carry about 3 liters for about the same amount of weight. And since I can literally like jump on them and not break them. So I'm a big fan of Nalgene bottles. I have a way to carry 2 or 3 of them on my person all the time. Super great. In my backpack, I am carrying like my air for my Polar Star, as well as like rain gear and extra equipment like that. We're also going to blow that up on the table so that you can see it as well. Because since it's all packed away, it's very hard to actually see how much crap I have on my person. Going to my hands, I'm wearing mechanics wear, impact gloves, and multicam. These are super great gloves. I really like these. They're very tough wearing. They're not so sensitive for shooting, but since they're really strong and they're very abrasion resistant, it's very nice to be able to like get your hands and stuff and not have to worry about your hands getting messed up. I also have a pair of outdoor research gloves as well that have the grip panels on them for when it's cold or slimy outside so that I can get texture on like my weapon and things like that so I don't have to worry about dropping stuff. Across my wrist, actually, we'll go straight there. I have a Garmin Fortrex 401. This is super clutch when you're out in the woods trying to lead all the cats, because when they get lost, you can use your breadcrumb feature to get back to where you were. And you can also use this to plot grids, and it's got a very simple, very easy to read menu setup, so it's actually very easy for you to program. The military uses these. I use these in the military as well. They're super great. I have it in an LBX wrist pouch. I'm actually a really big fan of this because all of the other offerings of this pouch that are very similar go for like exorbitant amounts of money. This pouch is really inexpensive and very, very readily available. I'm a big fan of it. Just save some money, guys. Don't spend $250 on an AOR2 Eagle one. Like, they're nice, but it's the same thing, and this is like $30. For my uniforms, I have Cry Precision Field Gen 2 bottoms. I'm a big fan of the field pants. Everybody likes to wear the knee pad exposed G3s and the combat pants and stuff like that. I prefer the covered knee style field pants, and the reason is that the knee pads won't pop out. I see knee pads on the ground at every event I go to from dudes running around with G3s and stuff like that, and their knee pads just get liberated from their knee pad pockets and they lose them and never see them again. I prefer the field pants. It's very nice. It makes sure that, you don't lose your knee pads and they stay in your pants. And then what I also have is I have an LBX top. Now the reason I'm running the LBX top, and I have some Cry tops and stuff like that, but I wanted to make a point to show that the multicam pattern that's used in the LBX, it's American material, and it matches 1-to-1 with the Cry pants. So if you're a budget guy and you need to save some money, the LBX stuff is a completely good stand-in uniform. Uses American material. You don't have to worry about mismatching and having off patterns and stuff like that. So I just wore this so that you guys could get a sense for it. But generally I'm either wearing this or like a Cry field top or something like that. It's nice to have options. I usually carry 2 or 3 uniform changes in my ruck when I go out to these events, so that way I don't have to worry about like getting soaked and being cold because rain. Alright, so for my boots, what I'm running is I'm running Lowa Renegade boots. Now, Lowa is a company that works very closely with the US Army to design both combat boots and civilian hiking boots. And I love these boots. I love them. I love them. I love them. I've been using them consistently for about 6 months now. Wholeheartedly recommend them. They're really great if you're like me and you have big old fat flat feet that you have flipper feet, because they don't have a whole lot of super extreme arch support, but yet they're also very adaptable where you can pull them out and you can put aftermarket insoles in. So it's really great to use if you have different varying types of feet. They're full leather, Gore-Tex, easy to tie. The tongue folds open really far out of the way, so they're easy to slip on and off. Love these boots. They're super comfortable. I'm using them on a lot of backcountry hiking trips. Big fan. You should probably pick them up. I mean, I guess, I'm a fan. I don't care what you do. But, alright guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take my chest rig and we're going to take my backpack and I'm going to blow everything open on it so that way you guys can see what I'm carrying. Like I said, I play more of an administrative role as Cadre at a MilSim West event, so I have a lot of stuff that necessarily isn't as important for players to carry, but it really helps me make sure that everyone's having a good time and make sure everybody's taken care of. So what we're going to do is we're going to blow all that open so you guys can take a look at it, and here we go. Alright, so what we got here is we have my Mayflower UW Type 4 chest rig. Split front. I'm a big fan of this. It makes it so that it's easy to get on and off. What I'm going to do is I'm basically going to start over here and I'm just going to work my way this way so that you guys can see what I carry. But we're going to go over the superfluous stuff that's kind of hanging on the outside first. So what we got over here on the outside, we have 2 Lake Erie Shredders Kydex banger holsters. These are the ones that are for the Cyclone. I'm a big fan of these because they're wonderful for holding EG-18 smokes, and so that's what I use them for. So I have them both on the outside of my chest rig. They kind of hang out behind my arms so they don't get in the way, but they're very easy to pull out and use. Pull out, lol. Keep my pull-out game strong. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to go down the line. Now remember, like what I said, big deal is you only get issued 500 rounds per ammo resupply. So that's what about 500 rounds of BBs looks like. So I'm not carrying a crap ton of mags. I have 1 mag in the gun, and then I have 4 mags on my chest. That's it. Try to keep it light so that way I don't have to worry about carrying extra garbage on me. Start right here. The UW Type 4 and Type 5 chest rigs come with a pull-out first aid pouch. This is a boo-boo kit that has all kinds of gauzes, Band-Aids, stuff for blisters and stuff like that, antiseptics. It's in a quick pull-out, like 70 denier multicam pouch, and it kind of rips open and unfolds. Super sweet. I'm a big fan of that. I also have medical shears in here in case I need to cut. For God, I hope I never have to, but if I have to help cut stuff off of people so that they need help, that's what that is. So we'll put that right there so you guys get a sense of all the crap that I'm wearing on my person. Right here, this is a krill light. I got this issued to me in the Army. It's basically a reusable glow stick. Super useful. Hang this in a tree. It's waterproof. Lasts for like 7 days straight. 2 AA batteries. Go down the line again. Tied off to my chest rig, I have a Sunoto compass. When your GPS runs out of batteries, because it will, it's good to know how to use a compass. This is a cheap, well, relatively cheap compass. This is about a $50 compass. It has MGR grid measurements on the outside of it to scale, so it's very easy for you to get grid coordinates using this compass. Recommend it. Super nice. I'm a big fan of that. Also in this pouch, I have a SOG AK-47 knife. I believe that's the AK-47. And I also have 2 lighters, you know, for my mountain houses and crap. That pouch is taken care of. Now, I got a speed loader. And I also have a backup Garmin E-Trex. The big thing about this one is this one also displays a lot more color details than the Fortrex does. So I use this one whenever I need to get a really good lay of like terrain features and stuff like that. This is more so the one that I'll bust out whenever I need to worry about like hiking some injured player out of the woods. But it's nice to have 2. Oh, 1 is none, 2 is 1. I have a Gerber multi-tool right here. It's nice to have a set of tools, screwdrivers, stuff like that in case I have like weapon malfunctions, anything that breaks. This is my essentials pouch right here. This is the most important thing ever. I've got poo paper and food. Always need food on you. Always have food on you. Always have food on you. IR glow stick. On the outside, I have a Baofeng radio. This is a UV5R, and the extended battery for it. I generally don't run comm headsets or anything like that because I use this more as an administrative purpose. Usually at MilSim West, there's an RTO. The RTO is the one that's going to be talking all the time. I just need my radio for emergencies. As you guys saw, I have 4 magazines. Now we're going to go into like some hidden stuff squirreled away inside my chest rig. All right. I have a spare MSW tourniquet in case I lose one or I have to give one to another player to make sure that they, you know, can play the game and enjoy themselves. Waterproof writing utensils. I have a wax pencil right here, as well as permanent markers. Big deal to have waterproof writing utensils because, you know, sometimes you're going to need to write down. I have a Write in the Rain notebook. It has all kinds of fun messages in it. Russian boys love Anthony from Amped Airsoft. Generally, I'll also have on my person all of the maps. This one's a Write in the Rain map of Shelby, as well as the individual. This is just for an example. Usually I have whatever game I'm going to at the time. Key terrain features, maps, and stuff like that. OpSkeds. These were the OpSkeds that we used at Shelby. OpSkeds are basically lists of all of your running passwords, radio frequencies, how to add or subtract grids so that way you can send encrypted information. And then usually you have them about 4 deep. This is a 4 deep one made on Write in the Rain paper, so I don't have to worry about losing it, getting it destroyed, stuff like that. And the big thing about having different OpSkeds is so that whenever you get searched, let's say they find OpSked 1 on you, you burn it, and then you go to OpSked 2, 3, and 4. So you have multiple levels of encryption to take care of all your stuff. All right, then last but not least in this pouch, I have a compass. Now, this is a UTM grid reader, basically. What this is this has all the different scales for all the different grids of maps so that you can get accurate grid coordinates by laying it out. Also, if you center it on a grid, with north being north, what you can do then is you can get the right compass direction just by laying it on the adjusted map. So you can call in how enemy patrols are walking in a certain direction. Like you can say compass bearing 255 or anything like that. That makes it really easy when you send salute reports up the radio so that you have all of your people understanding it. And then, in case I have to teach people how to use a UTM grid reader or how to read a map, I have a set of instructions that I can give them, as well as I can teach them how to use maps. In this side over here, I have another MilSim West tourniquet because I've had to give away dozens of these things. And then I have a VS17 panel. Now, whenever an emergency happens out in the field, this giant bright orange panel helps people find me so that I can get injured players and injured people help. It's very important to carry one of these if you're playing in some kind of admin role, because then what that does is that allows you to help you get attention to you so that people can see you. Also, basically, I also can use this and be like, hey, yo, assholes, if you're lost in the woods, I'm the big giant orange blob, come find me. So that way I can get people some help. VS17 panel. You can pick these up at surplus stores for like $1. And that's everything that's packed away in my chest rig. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff just there. Well, guys, now you saw everything that's in my chest rig. Now we're going to move on to my backpack. Just like my chest rig, there's a lot of administrative stuff in there, so that way I can help people out if they need help and help move gameplay. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at that next as I pack all this up and put it away. Alright, so what we have right here is we have a MilSpec Monkey Tactical Tailor Collaboration Adapt Pack. I love this f***ing backpack. They're super great. You can bolt them to plate carriers, you can keep them standalone. I'm a big fan of them. They're relatively inexpensive. They're made of very high quality, very high-end materials. This is one of our test bags that we've had for like 1.5 years now, and we have beat the ever-living shit out of this bag, and I love it. On the outside of the bag, you'll see very quickly, this is the American flag that I have carried with me to every single MilSim West event since Derbent. This was the flag that was flying up on the mountain at Derbent. Someone left it, I snagged it, and it has been to every MilSim West event with me since then. Gotta have some pride. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start diving into it. On the outside, I have a Tactical Tailor Universal Mag Pouch right here, and I use this as a Nalgene water bottle carrier. It's part of their Fight Light series, so it has rubber plastic coating on the inside. It keeps it nice and quiet. I have an SDS Woodland frag grenade pouch, and then in here I have a hilarious pea grenade for hilariousness. We'll set that over here. On the outside, I have one of the brand new super swag Amped glow-in-the-dark patches, because I love pissing dudes off with nods. Alright, so this right here is an Otter box. It's for my phone, because when I'm out in the field as a cadre member, I need to make sure to have my phone on me at all times in case I need to call in an actual real-world emergency. Keeps my phone nice and super happy. This right here, this is a Orc Industries PCU level 4. So this is the waterproof wind and water, basically raincoat. I'm a big fan of the level 4 over the heavier level 5s and 6s, because then I can just use underlayers to stay warm, and it's nice and lightweight and it packs down. I can ball this up even smaller, but it's literally right now packed up into its own pocket. So I'm a big fan of that. I have an extra knife right here. This is another SOG knife. Here are my outdoor research gloves, in case I get my other gloves wet or I rip a hole in them. Then I have a spare battery holder. As you can see, I've been very lackadaisical and have not put batteries in it yet, but this is for carrying extra batteries. Then I have a Condor face wrap in case the wind is messing with me and I need to stay warm. Multicam, of course, because NATO strong. Now in here, I'm always carrying at least 2 liters of water with me all the time, so I have an extra Nalgene. This is the extra lens kit for my ESS ices. That's what I use for my primary eye protection. I have a spare lens, cleaning bag, as well as fog tech solution right here to keep my stuff from fogging up. We have a 62 3000 SLP tank with SLP regulator. I use this inside the actual built-in water bottle pouch that's inside of the backpack to keep it from moving around. So it keeps it basically in one spot all the time. It doesn't wiggle or move around or bounce or anything like that. And it has the snakeskin amp line. It's like the very first amp line ever made, by the way. I have Howard Light ear protection in case people are running blank fire weapons or stuff like that. Makes it so that, or if someone forgets their hearing protection and they're running a blank fire weapon, I have Hearing Pro for them to use. These also have active hearing, so when they're not around anything loud, basically they have stereo speakers that or microphones that pick up everything around you and play it into the earpiece, so that way you can hear things and not yell all the time. Bundle of 550 cord for helping string up shelters and stuff like that. Bug repellent. I'm a big fan of the DEET-free, like all-natural hippie shit, because I'm a hippie, kinda, a little bit. You know, sorry. Spare food, hand sanitizer. There you go. That's everything that's inside my pack. Also, if I have extra paperwork or anything like that, I'll stuff it into this plate pocket. This is actually supposed to hold a hard plate for if you're doing everyday concealed carry. You can use this as a plate to protect your torso, but I use that to carry all kinds of like stupid stuff like maps and things like that. And then I have some zip cuffs because, I don't know, I just do. I don't have a reason. No one's told me I shouldn't bring them yet, so I'm just going to keep doing it until someone yells at me. And that's everything that I have in my pack as well. Alright guys, so this has been my MilSim West walking around kit. Basically this is what I use when I'm actually out playing the game. Stay tuned for another video where I use this kit and make it attach to my sustainment kit, which you see right here. We're going to go through all of that separate. Anyways guys, this has been Anthony. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the doobly-doo, and I'll check you guys out later. Deuces.